Hello, welcome back to the PoddiMouths podcast. I am Peyton Cubic, and this is where my dad and his friend John talk about random stuff in life or the things they found on the internet. I hope you enjoy listening to this episode as much as I did. Here they are now.
Most people don't
start.
I know most people don't sleep in the middle of the night either because it's better to wake up to pee than it is to pee and wake up.
I concur.
Yes.
I've never really had a problem with the latter, but
No. Or the bladder.
I'm hoping it doesn't. Hoping it does not start. Wow! Don't ever give me crap about laughing at my own jokes.
I wasn't laughing at my own joke.
Whatever.
I was
Yes,
laughing
you
at
were.
your response to it.
No, you weren't.
I don't. I don't
rubber
usually
sheets?
laugh. No, I
always
don't usually laugh at my
jokes.
own jokes. I laugh at other
always
people's
do.
responses.
I always laugh at my own jokes. And this, you're gonna love this one. Just say it. Just tell the damn joke.
A lot of times, I'll be honest, I wouldn't really call my sense of humor jokes per se. Bad jokes maybe, dad jokes, bad jokes, yes, but most of the time it's deep cuts that maybe a tenth of the people that are listening actually catch and
That's
or
why
understand.
most people don't think you're funny.
That's
they're
very
just not
true.
Smart
That's
enough.
very
They're just
true.
Stupid people. Is that what you're
They're
saying?
not stupid. They're just not on my level. I mean, what?
Oh, nice. That's way better than stupid. I'd rather be stupid, frankly.
Hey, stupid is as
Not
stupid
at next
does.
level.
It's better to be a dumbass than a wait, no. It's better to be a smartass than a dumbass.
Oh,
It's better to be a dumbass than all ass.
Wow, you're just full of wisdom already.
It's Friday.
It's kind of a curse.
We're actually doing this on a Friday.
We are doing it on a Friday
well into the end of the day.
because we have been the confession. We've been busy. You work wise and me travel wise. It seems like lately.
Yeah.
And we apologize for the classics. Although we don't apologize for the classics.
We do and we
They're
don't.
kind of fun.
yeah, they are. To see where we've come from. We've grown up.
Remember when we sucked? What, last week? No,
Yeah,
the week
right?
before?
No, this week? Right now? Yeah, that's when we sucked.
In particular. Hey, so speaking of that, we were going to talk about dog names.
Dogs, yes, dog names.
Because to set it up, and you know this, but we are dog sitting for a friend for a week, and we're excited because we love big dogs, and this is some big dog. This is a lab, and Ranger is his name.
That's a good lab name.
I love Ranger because you don't hear it very often.
No,
you know?
and you said it was a weird name for a dog. And
No, not weird. Just not an usual one. You know.
See, I would have to argue that because I have heard a dog's named Ranger quite often.
Well, I didn't say it would be the only one ever.
Well, that's how you implied. It was all. Well, what are some other? So I've had dogs.
Yep.
I have had dogs. Can you believe that?
I've
had dogs with very unique names, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde. Currently.
Well, Bonnie and Clyde. I wouldn't call that necessarily. I mean, unique dog names, yes, but maybe not.
Yeah,
Clyde.
not for bank robbers.
No, not for bank. I mean,
Bonnie
that's
and-
everyone's Bonnie and
Yep,
Clyde,
for
right?
sure.
But I had a German Shepherd growing up, whose name was Tycho, Tyco. That is an odd
Or
name.
unusual.
Unusual. We didn't name him that. That was the name that he came with.
Okay.
And what's another?
Interesting.
I had a pug once whose name was Buka. Yeah.
Okay.
Buka. Buka. And I don't even know what that means. I looked it up once and I think it had an African something, but I don't remember.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
But I can't think of any other.
Those are unusual too.
Those are unusual names.
But we started with Wiley.
Okay.
And here's why. We bought our first dog, so we were kind of it's not the dogs that need the training, it's the owners. And we
absolutely
knew nothing, and we were terrible. I mean, we loved him, so we took good care of him, but man, we let him do anything he wanted. The reason he was named Wiley, though, is because he was our first dog and AKC. So he had not a champion bloodline, but he was a purebred golden retriever. And so we had to come up with a cool name. And so we decided to go with Wile, W-I-L-E, E, the initial E, Retriever, like Wile E. Coyote. Wile E. Retriever Super G. And if you remember, it's from a Roadrunner episode where Wile E. Coyote is inside a train caboose and he's making some explosive, and he's laughing to himself. He's Wile E. Coyote, super genius. And he's laughing, Wile E. Coyote, super genius. And then a train hits him.
That's about right.
Oh, just one of my favorites of all time. So Wile E. Retriever, super
Nice.
G.
Super G.
Because we ran out of room.
Yeah.
We couldn't put
that
the whole
happens.
word genius. Yeah. Anyway, it was
We
fun.
got on a kick of, so my pug was AKC.
Mhm.
The poodles that my mom had that I inherited were AK. Well, one of them was, no, actually both of them were AKC, but the second one came named.
American Kennel Club, if you're keeping
Yes,
score.
sorry.
No, that's
so
fine.
we got on a kick though of the longer names being famous golfer names.
Oh, cool.
So like the poodle, my mom's first poodle was
Tom Weiskopf?
No, Hogan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ben
Ben
Hogan.
Hogan. Okay.
Yeah, was named. I don't remember the full name, but it was Ben Hogan something
Awesome.
something. Yeah.
Love it.
And then Buka was Annika Buka.
Sorenstam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
Cool. And the first one you called Benny? What was his?
Ben Hogan. No, we called him Hogan. His name was Hogan.
Oh, Hogan. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
That is good. We kept the same thing going too with our second dog, which was a Weimaraner, and he was
Beautiful dogs.
Oh gosh, he was awesome, and they're crazy wild, typically, but not ours. He had, as it turned out, many years later, we found out that he had a heart condition, like a leaky valve or something like that, a murmur, which is a leak, and so he was quiet and calm, and we loved it. We're like, we got so lucky because he was a great. So he was Sam. Oh my gosh, Yosemite Sam E. Something, Yosemite Sammy. Anyway,
Nice.
Because also AKC, and then we got into the rescue.
Not as hard to
with
name
Indy.
rescues. That's
No,
how Bonnie. I mean,
he
Bonnie
was
and Clyde.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Indiana.
My dad had a Great Dane Mastiff mix
Oh gosh,
that he named. It was a stray, and I don't know
Holy
how he
cow.
ended up. Yeah, exactly. That would be a good name for him. I mean, he was massive. He was jet black, and he had him at the same time I had my pug. And I have pictures of my pug. I was holding my pug next to Bertram's head.
Oh, funny.
And
About
his
the
name
same
was
size.
His head was actually bigger than my dog.
Oh my
But
gosh,
but it was Bertram T. Dog.
funny.
Bertram the dog.
Love it.
Went by Bert.
And I had another name. I love Bert too, by the way. I don't know why we always had a thing to end them with a Y. So Wiley, Sammy, Indy, because for whatever reason we thought, calling them, I don't know, it was easier for us. And
Interesting. I
yeah,
think
I
we're
don't know.
unpacking something very
Maybe
very
we
deep
are.
right here.
This,
John,
yeah, this
how
seems
does that make you feel?
E?
Yeah.
Well, fine. It makes me feel fine, Nikki.
That was my nickname growing up. I think I've said that before. Icky Nicky.
Well, I was going to say icky. I don't think you're icky.
Well, it's Nick or Nicholas Dominic Cubic. So Icky Nicky. Yep.
I'm just going to back away.
Yeah.
Had a friend
You should.
who named his dog Diogi, and I thought, oh, Diogi, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What a
We must have had the same
fun
friend. 'Cause
name.
I worked at a dealership who
Yeah.
with one of the salespeople who had a dog that she named Diogi.
Well, I had never heard of it before, so here I am thinking it's like a Diogi. It's
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
like a family? Is that no DOG?
Yeah.
I'm going, oh, well, this is when you have run out of ideas.
Yeah.
What are we going to call him? Puppy. Let's call him that. How
I
would
like
that
it.
be?
Whoopee.
Poopy.
My mom had a cat once that they called Damn Cat.
Well, that seems to be a natural name for a cat.
Yeah. Hey, damn cat.
Cats go. Sorry, cats.
Yep. It's okay. I almost ended up,
lover.
speaking of, I almost ended up with a cat this week.
You did?
Yeah, Jen was out and about, and there was a kitten at one of the places that she was at.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and she texted me like, "Do we want a cat?" I'm like, "No," but he needs help. Fine, but then it never actually came to her. She was trying to get her.
You were that much of a pushover.
Of course.
Fine.
My wife says jump. I say how high.
Well, I know that, but that doesn't have anything to do with cats.
That's true.
That's a whole
true.
different story. Because
That's
you're
a whole
allergic,
different
aren't
story.
you?
No.
Wait, that's me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's one thing I'm not allergic to.
I'm allergic to dogs too, though. So I mean, I just wash my hands a lot. I have to.
Well, you do that anyways.
Yeah, pretty much, which is really handy during COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I had that conversation with my Matt during COVID,
Matt.
and he's like, yeah, nothing's really changed. I wash my hands just as much as I used to because I wash them all that. I've always been a germaphobe, and I'm right there with him. I'm like, me
really
too.
comes in handy.
Yeah, it was very nice.
And this was funny because I would get crap from people because
For having
I have this next to
everything.
And if you're just listening and you're not watching, yes, we have the mass. Well, mine's substantially
yours is
bigger.
much
than
bigger.
Yours.
Well, this is a little one. I ran out of my big one.
So if
I'm
you're
use it
listening
right now,
and
actually.
not watching, it's just we're holding up our hand sanitizer, and I have 3 more gallons in the closet.
Nice.
Because I got it on sale, number one, but it doesn't hurt to have it around. And man, I was very happy to have what I had during Cocoa because that was, I mean, everybody was out of everything, and which is why we have
I'm
plenty
sure
of
there are
toilet paper too.
People who are in the sciences right now who are listening to this yelling at the screen or at their listening device going, that's the worst thing in the world for you.
Yes, I've heard that from scientists who's my niece's husband, who he really is a genius. He's but a scientist. Yeah. And they're saying it's going to be bad after I was diagnosed. It's going to be bad for you. You're supposed to have. Well, that's funny because I go into the clinics and they're always, here you go. Yeah. Make sure you have hand sanitizer.
Yeah. It's weird. You know that you can never really get a good feel of anything. I like the egg thing too, because I can remember growing up when they said, oh, eggs are the worst thing you can possibly have.
Yes.
Don't eat eggs. It's bad cholesterol. And I literally just saw a post yesterday saying you should have a minimum of 3 eggs every day, because it's good for your brain. It's good for this cholesterol and good for, I'm like, which is right. I mean,
well, really. That stuff has changed over the years just because they thought it meant one thing and it didn't. Yeah. And the whole cholesterol thing, it's like eating fat doesn't make you fat. And that's the thing that's been so hard to get through the minds. And still some dietitians say, you need to take in carbs and watch your fats. And I mean, you don't go blindly at it, but fat makes you feel full as long as it's not polyunsaturated or whatever the bad kind is. But stuff like avocados.
Well, let's face it, fat also makes things taste good.
Well, exactly. And that's the other benefit of it, which that's the whole thing that sad for my dad, who passed away, almost 50 years ago. He was back in the time when they're like, okay, take vitamin E, and then you can't have any eggs. You can have egg whites occasionally, but no bacon, none of that stuff. And that's all been shot these days. And well,
I mean, the same thing with diets and things like that too. It boils down to this, and we are not dietitians, we're not scientists, we're not any of those things. Just to cover our bases, when I
don't think we're going to get sued because anybody who's listening knows who we are.
I don't think we have any lawyers listening. I'm probably the closest thing to a lawyer.
You're like 3 years away.
I'm 3 years away. Well, I did take a lot of law classes in college, and
that's why you're so close.
Yeah, beyond the first thing you should say is I'm not a lawyer, but the other thing was always cover your ass.
Yes.
But anyways, we're not doling out advice here, but
no.
Here's the bottom line.
Observation.
What makes you feel good? Do it.
Yeah.
Within moderation. That's the thing. Moderation. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
Pretty
Moderation.
much with everything, yes.
Because
pretty much with everything.
You know what? I can tell you something. I was a vegetarian for a little while. I was a vegan for a little while. I didn't lose any weight. I felt good. But I didn't lose any weight. Jen dropped the weight. I go and do a little bit of not even a very long, just the carnivore diet, and I dropped a whole bunch of weight. Yeah. So,
but you were also good about managing your portions, you said, and that's
I try.
Well, no, but I mean that's smart if that helps, and
yeah,
it's as you're intimating what works for one person doesn't work for everybody,
right?
And you have to. If I'm hungry, I'm out. It's not going to work for me, and that's why I would prefer and do prefer things. And I'm not one to give advice because I'm not svelte, but I would sure like to be.
But you're sure good looking.
Well,
and boy, people
it's a
like
trade-off. It's a trade-off. I'll tell you.
I know it's hard. It's hard looking this good. It really is.
Well, I don't want to go that. It was actually very easy.
Dude, I have people staring at me all the time.
I'm sure you do. And in amazement, would you say?
Exactly. Disgust is more like it, but it is what it is.
Disgust. That's delightful.
Speaking of disgust, it has actually nothing to do with that. But I was at dinner the other night with a colleague, and we go to this restaurant, and rarely, because you and I, we tend to do our happy hours, and I tend to have a smoked whatever, which was actually the plan for tonight. But we started a little bit late. Anyway, that's a whole different story. I go to these restaurants, and I swear, every time I see something and I get really excited, see something on the menu, it's a smoked something or other. Oh, in this case, this week it was a smoked old fashioned. I get really excited because not every bar smokes drinks. It's true. And the ones that do are usually really good because, and I was making this joke with the colleague who listens to this. Hi, Andrew. But, I was talking to him that you drink like an old fashioned at a restaurant. Yeah. And you could drink like 3 of them because they just go down like water, and you don't really, if I drink one at home, I'm on the floor after one. And I don't really know why, because I've trained to be a bartender. I know how to make the drink. But I don't know. And maybe they water it down. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, that's a different side of the story. But I see it on there and I get really excited. And this is like the 4th, maybe even the 5th time I've seen a smoked something on the menu, and I order it. Okay. And it's the 4th time, the 3rd or 4th time, depending on how many I actually have seen, where they said, "Oh, we're out of wood chips. We can't do that."
Come on.
I'm like, really? Really? Come on. But yeah, I was so disappointed.
Jeez. And how tough is it to go grab some wood chips from,
we
wherever?
Asked, Andrew and I said, "Hey, we can go chop down one of the trees outside if that's what we need. I mean, it's fine." We didn't.
Actually, just go grab some mulch from somebody's yard.
We didn't see any mulch in the area, unfortunately. But you know what? It was next to the baseball field, so we could have just gone over there. I'm sure there's some. Could grab a bat, grind it up.
Hey, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Restaurants. Speaking of, we probably a year and a half ago, after we had been in Florida for probably a year. We were just struggling finding nice restaurants, good restaurants. Yeah. And now, my goodness, we have been introduced to several of them. So I don't know if it's just because we've met more people who have recommended more places. They also built the Sunseeker Resort, which you've mentioned that. I've told you they have some great restaurants. We've been to 3 of them, and we'll try some more. But the best one I think we've found so far is one that's just actually right across the harbor from the Sunseeker. Okay. And it's a place called Carmelo's. And Carmelo's is Italian. And oh my gosh, it was just such a good experience.
I like it. I like Italian.
Yeah, and the food was exceptional and huge portions, but it was all about the experience. And you and I have talked about this
we've talked about that many times
too, where it's just you walk in and the first thing you get, and this was just a guy who was waiting tables outside as we were walking by him on the way in, and he goes, "Hey, welcome in. How are you guys doing today?" That's it. He had no interest in us and wasn't going to seat us or wasn't going to wait on us. But just that friendly interaction, which is so easy.
I think it came from the Ritz, but it's I know it's a Marriott thing too. Maybe I'm pretty sure all of the hotel, but once you get within a certain number of feet from somebody, you're required to say something and be cheery.
Yep.
It really, even when they fake it, it makes a big difference.
It was Nordstrom's that I used to quote as the 10-foot rule, as they called it.
Yeah.
And they may have stolen from somebody else. I don't know. But anytime you're within 10 feet of a customer, you have to greet them.
Yeah.
And whether it's a hi or welcome in or how are you or whatever, and ensuring that you get them where they need to go. That's the other part of it that I tried to implement at least one of the dealerships.
I always had a problem with it. I have a tough time judging distance.
Well, you could have carried a tape measure.
There you go.
What? Hey,
because that wouldn't be.
Sorry, just wanted to make sure.
I prefer a yardstick.
Oh, that's good. Well, if it's 10 feet, you're going to need 3 of them. I'll just tape them together. Ow! Cut that out. How are you? Damn it, I'm within 10 feet. But that was always a big thing too, rather than, than doing the thing where you just say, "Hey, how's it going?" You actually take them where, what can I help you find? Or I'm here to see Bob, or I'm and or I'm looking for the washrooms. You don't say, "Well, they're down the stairs and to the right." You take them.
Right.
I mean, not in physically, but
please don't do that. Please don't do that, folks.
Yeah. Now, although if you have done that, please tell us about it, because I'd like to know how that went.
You can head up to
now, are we talking about
PoddiMouths.com.
number 1 or number 2? Okay, so if you're going number 2, let me get the door for you.
Exactly. Do you need help with the toilet paper? Let me enroll that for you.
Oh man, maybe over the top.
Just a teensy bit.
But taking them where they're supposed to go, or in a dealership, to the parts department. Just let's take them back there, and you talk along the way. You don't just So how are you today? And where are you from? And what are you in for? And whatever. Just those little things make such a big difference to people's experience, and that's the way it was at this Carmelo's. It was just while the food was spectacular, the whole experience was amazing.
So what did you have?
Lisa had a, oh gosh, I'm not going to think of the name, but she will know, and she's going to be poking her eyes out. It's a yummy beef on the bone, and it just falls off when you deliver it. And
short ribs?
Yes, it was a short rib, but there's a name for it. But it's it's delicious. And so she loved that. I had, I don't remember. It was like a pasta. Oh, I know. It was a ravioli, and it was incredible.
Nice.
So, but huge plates, and a huge amount of food. Yeah. Which we both took stuff home. No surprise. But the service was just amazing. Our waiter was Gianni.
Okay.
So I'm introduced myself. I'm John and Johnny, and he's Gianni with a G. He's my friends just call me G, and I'm going, okay, Johnny.
We're not friends yet.
I called it.
We are not friends yet. You have not served me my food once. Now, if it's really good, but not so good that I'm going to go back into the kitchen and shoot the chef, I'll call you G.
Then maybe I'll call you G.
Yeah.
And he was a very nice guy, and clearly from Italy, because we said we would love to travel there sometime. And he said, okay, the Amalfi Coast. And he's, had a wonderful accent. And I, after he left, I said to Lisa, I said, boy, I know he was faking the accent, but he knew everything about the whole,
nice.
The whole area and where we should go and all of that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It was cool. And great meal.
Interested to know in a place like that, if it's a little bit more high scale, has real Italian, if they actually, how they cook their pastas and things like that, because and this isn't pasta, but we're going to try pasta. So Jen has kind of I guess we call it a gluten sensitivity. So she's
Okay.
avoiding gluten. Doesn't mean she cuts it out. She still eats it, but it makes her feel like crap the next day. So she avoids it.
Yeah.
But we're always, because we are a pizza family, we are a pasta family. We like our gluten. So we've been trying different things. And this past weekend, I made pizza in the pizza oven, but I did. So let back up a little bit. I think we've talked about this actually. I've had friends who have gone to Italy and they've said we've eaten everything that we normally can't eat, and we felt fine
and had no problem. Yeah,
and had no problems.
I've heard that too.
I can hear Andrew already yelling at the screen, talking about what it is. But Andrew, that aside, the other thing that some people have said is it's the yeast, and it's also the way that you that they dry, and how quickly they dry the pastas and things like that. So my thought was, I know how to make homemade pasta. Let me try making homemade pasta. I know you don't use yeast in pasta. That's more for the pizza side of things. So I made a pizza crust without yeast this time. And it was basically same ingredients. I just left the yeast out and, made it into pizzas and stuff like that. And it tasted like shit. Don't get me wrong.
Did it really?
No, it was fine. It didn't have a great flavor though. It was very, very bland. I could have done more to make it better, but she didn't have the problem with it. She had no problem with that crust. It didn't make her feel puffy. It didn't make her do anything. So I think for us, it's the yeast. Now the next thing I'm going to try is the pasta. And when you make it at home, when you make it from scratch, you don't dry it out. So you make it and then you go ahead and you boil it.
Right.
And let's see if it's, because I've heard that some people, because if they don't dry it out like that, like they don't do in Italy, that's why it doesn't have the same effect. So we're going to try that and see, which is also code for me being able to putz in the kitchen more often.
Well, and I would say, I'm sure there are, I don't know, roughly 15,000 YouTube videos that would tell you specifically how to do it.
Yeah, because everything you see on the internet's real, guys. I don't know if you know that.
It's all true.
All true.
Of it is, yeah.
Yep.
What I was thinking about when you're talking about the pizza crust without yeast is maybe beer. That might be a good additive, because that might also infuse it with that yeasty part without having to put in.
I'll try that next time.
It might be a thought. And worst case is you have to drink half a beer yourself.
Oh, damn.
I know, but it's for science.
Science. Hey, I'm up for anything that has to do with science. I mean, I will drink beer. I will drink bourbon, whatever that takes to make sure we've got it right.
Taking one for the team.
Taking one for the team. Exactly.
Yeah, well played.
Exactly.
Lisa's dish, by the way, was ossobuco, as I remember.
Sambuco.
It's delicious. Ossobuco.
Yes.
And that is oh man.
We've stumbled on, so I have Discovery Plus. Do you have Discovery Plus?
We do, and we love Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus is great. We started following, not following, just we were poking around, and there was thank you. Sorry. That was okay. I like the farm to table type of things.
Yep, me too.
And there's one, and I can't remember the name of it, but and it made me think of Lisa actually when I saw it.
I know which one it is.
Yeah, the one where they live in North Dakota, but they're right on the North Dakota-Minnesota border.
Oh no, different place. I'm sorry. We've watched ad nauseum is in Maine.
Oh yeah. The Hidden Table
Hidden Table. That's it. And it's it's amazing.
I love that one. That was fantastic.
Much farm to table.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's the North Dakota? You don't know the?
I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
So she is. She's half Chinese and half Jewish.
I've seen her. I think. Yeah.
And she met her husband. She and her husband both went to Juilliard. Yeah. Right. No, they both went to. They were both musicians at Juilliard.
Okay.
So, and then as Jen kept, because I looked them both up on Wikipedia while we were watching, and I was saying that out loud, and she's like, and they ended up in North Dakota on a farm?
I remember that one. Yes. Yep.
So, anyway, but she made a dish. It was ossobuco. And cool. I think it was, we watched a couple of them, so I might be getting them mixed up, but I think that was her dad's favorite.
Cool.
dish or something. I don't remember, but
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. And again, when it's in the hands of a capable chef, I wouldn't
Yeah.
tackle it. Lisa, I'm sure could, but yeah, it's just that long cooked meat that
Yeah.
while you still keep the flavor infused, which is really the trick. Because
that is the trick.
Mom used to do. I love my mother. She used to do boiled dinner. She called it, and it was boiled to hell. But in her defense, it was the old school crock pot, and she had 5 kids that were coming home at various times of the evening, after basketball practice,
right,
and sports and activities, and it was the perfect meal, and I loved it too. The meat's just falling off, and potatoes and
we do it all. We
blah,
still
blah.
do it.
I
when
love
we
it.
don't have time for anything.
Yep.
Just dump it in.
That's the hot tip. You bet.
Yep.
That is good stuff. So
it's it was fun. The other one that I like that's farm to table is and I can't remember the name, but they're in California, so they're California Central Coast.
Okay.
She is they've had the farm for well over 100 years, almost 150 years.
For family. Yeah. And I've seen her too. She's really good.
Long
really
hair.
Good. Yep.
Yeah, that one's fun. And Peyton actually likes that one better because because we've watched almost every season of that one so far. And the girl in North Dakota is something we just started watching. And after like the 3rd episode, Peyton's like, I don't like this one.
Oh,
why not?
Okay.
She's like, because the other one, she actually goes out on the farm and does stuff. And you see horses and stuff. This one, she's just at the farm cooking. What the hell?
You need to get her into Clarkson's farm if she's not.
Oh, she loves Clarkson Farm.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. Well, then that's fine. Then.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
well,
I watched Clarkson's Farm.
He's almost
like 4
leaning
times
toward, this most recent season. He's almost leaning toward paddock farming.
Yeah,
that we've talked a little bit about.
Yep.
It seems like, and I, with what does he have? Well, over 1,000 acres.
Yeah.
That seems like that would be, especially for his cattle, well, his pigs too, would be just a no-brainer for them. Man, just the results that some of these farmers are getting, and the money they're saving by not fertilizing and not doing all the treatments for spraying for flies and stuff like that. It's
right. Have we talked about White Oak Pastures?
I do not know.
Look up White Oak Pastures. It's in
I
Georgia.
will. White Oak Pastures. In Georgia, White Oak Pastures. This is how I burn time.
Exactly. So this
is whiteoakpastures.com. Weird.
Yeah. This is a
food. Yeah, we have talked about this, I think.
Yeah, because he's been on Rogan a couple of times.
Okay.
And it's all regenerative farming and comparing himself to the neighbor. Guys, if you get a chance, go up to whiteoakpastures.com.
Yeah.
And
sausages.
Get past all. I mean, if you want to buy from them, whatever. But look for there's a section near the bottom on the left hand side. It's called Land Regeneration, and they tell you all about what they do and what it means and all that stuff. It's really interesting and
cool.
It's fascinating.
It is very.
Cool. If I were a farmer, which we'll get to that in just a second. If I were a farmer, I would probably lean more towards something like this. And then, speaking of farming, so we have a joke in the house because we do have a couple of one raised bed and then a couple of little pots where we're growing stuff. And right now, I've got incredible zucchini. But the zucchinis aren't up yet. It's just the plants and the flowers. They're starting to come.
Just looking really healthy.
Yeah, everything just exploded while my other plants are still like seedlings. They're not moving very quickly. But anyway, I joke all the time because I go and check them every morning and, water if I need to water. It's been rainy here, so we haven't had to water so much. But I go out and check them every morning. And that's the thing. When I go outside, I'm like, they're like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to farm. Going to the farm. It's out on my back patio, folks. So it's not really a farm. I'm going out to the farm.
Wow.
I'm farming.
Well,
come in. Oh, it was a hard day of farming.
We did a little of that too with, we just had a few that Lisa did some great herbs, rosemary and thyme actually.
Yeah.
And they were So fragrant, just incredible. But also, I was doing peppers, and I think we talked about
Yeah,
that
we
too.
did. Did you plant any Simon and Garfunkel?
No, I have no idea
Oh,
who
okay.
they are. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
So anyway, yeah, that was good, and we had the raised bed as well, and so we're not sure now they're done. We don't know what Florida seasons are all about. We have no
still learning those.
clue. Well, we just don't know because they certainly it's warm enough and it's wet
Right.
enough.
Well,
typically.
there's this interesting thing. I don't know if you've heard of it called the internet.
Stop. Everything's true on the internet.
Everything's true on the internet.
Yeah, they don't know either, and that's just it. If you buy the plants, it's one thing. If it's seedlings, it's another. And
Yep.
so we do have
all of these this year have been from seed, which is the first time we've done that.
Oh, that's
not
good.
the first time we've done seed, but the first time we've successfully had seeds turn into massive plants.
Well, that's good, and we did not. We did plants. So yeah, I'm not patient enough to the seeds. Although, did we do them on something? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But we do have a very nice lemon tree, which we're hoping will fruit next
awesome.
year. So we'll see.
We will never get fruit from this, but we're still really proud of it, and we don't put it outside because we know that we're not in the right part of the country. But we experimented with the avocado seed, and we have
two.
We have
You
an
have two
avocado.
trees?
No, we've got one tree.
Oh, you need two
Just
for
one
them to germinate.
Well, yeah, but I was reading up and doing my research, and they said if you get fruit in your house, you're one of the very few that ever do. Yeah. But if you plant it outside, it's going to die because we're too hot and humid here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure about hot and humid. That's
what they said, because I specifically did a search for growing them in the Nashville climate. So
the outdoors part, I will tell you right now that whatever we put on the lanai grows like a banshee.
Yeah.
So, they love almost everything we have, loves the heat and humidity.
Yeah.
But as long as we keep them watered. So anyway, We'll see. But yeah, we looked at avocado as well, and who knows, we still may, but
you can have ours.
No, we need two. So
maybe one is all the way. It only took us
maybe digital print one.
Maybe
yeah.
It only took a year for it to grow as big as it is.
How big is it?
It's standing about 2, maybe 3 feet tall.
Feet. Pretend you have a yard.
2, maybe 3 feet.
Okay, that's pretty good, and that's from seed.
That's from seed.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. It's the first. It's not the first time we've tried, but it's the first time we ever got anything.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it sits next to Jen's desk, and it's just kind of fun we play with it all the time, and yeah. Yeah, we're dorks. What can I? Hey, that's why I have a podcast.
I didn't have to say that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Hey, this is a fun avocado tree. I better go do a podcast now.
Exactly. We got to talk about it somewhere. Somewhere, somehow. Something.
Yes, we do. Somewhere, somehow.
So, John, what else is new?
Gosh, you said Tycho.
Yeah.
Remember Beanie Babies?
Yes.
They were
spelled the same way.
Tyco.
But the dog was before the Beanie Babies, so
You should get some sort of money out of that.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's also a band. I don't know if they're still together, but it was a techno band. Yes, a techno band, not a techno DJ. Named Tycho. Yeah.
Huh.
It was. I think it was either Chinese or Japanese. It's one of those E's.
I see.
It's like your Y's.
Wow. Yeah, leaving it alone.
But Tycho was the best dog in the world. And Jen and I have a picture of Tycho, standing in front of Tycho. He was a big dog, but man, I loved him. He was a great dog.
And you said a German Shepherd?
Yes.
Tycho?
Yes. Yep. And we got a German Shepherd, not Tycho, but we got a German Shepherd from a breeder in we say northern, going north of the Twin Cities, but it was not northern Minnesota by any means. And that's actually where we would board her when we went on trips. Her name was Emma. Emma was horrible. Emma was uncontrollable. My mom has had German Shepherds for a long time. I grew up with German Shepherds, and my mom could not really train this dog very well. So we went to board her. We weren't getting rid of Emma, but we went to board her, and the person who became a friend of the family that ran the kennel said, "Hey, I have this male German Shepherd. He's very sweet. He's a year old. The people that bought him abused him, and they basically came in to drop him off and board him, and then they never picked him up.
Wow.
Do you want him?" So they gave us Tycho.
Awesome.
And they gave us Tycho to see if we could get Emma to calm down. Mm-hmm. So 2 dogs to play together, and it was night and day. We ended up actually giving Emma to another family who could
like crazy dogs.
Yeah, like crazy dogs. And we kept Tycho. But Tycho was the most gentle soul you'll have ever met.
Oh, nice.
It was a great dog. Great dog. But of course that
Shepherds.
Unfortunately happens when they're abused, and it's
what a shame.
Yeah. It was very much.
Well, and there's a fine line between, the calm and friendly and so on, and one that's just beaten down, lost his spirit.
Yep.
So that's it's inexcusable for humans to do that.
It is,
sadly.
100%. If I ever catch anyone beating their dog, I'm going to beat them.
Yeah. And, well, you're a powerful man.
At least my breath is on a bad day.
On a bad day.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
It's minty fresh.
Minty fresh.
Yes. I have gone today without my Zyrtec.
Oh.
Thinking that, you know what, maybe I can back off a little bit at this time and then mowed the lawn and
there you go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
I'm
without it, but yeah.
I don't do the Zyrtec thing, but I have on a normal day, like today I didn't take it, but tomorrow I have to mow the lawn in the morning. So I will take it in the morning before I mow the lawn.
I think I'll probably take one before bedtime because wow.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm fine. Don't worry.
Coughing and delightful. It's delightful.
Delightful.
We love the coughing. What else?
Any plans? Coffee.
Quick coffee talk. I
walk.
Just got another. You and I talked about the Montana.
Yeah, I just got
blend.
it. It's sitting downstairs.
I tried.
I'm opening it tomorrow.
You have the big one?
No, I was debating, but it was $70, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do. And then I go downstairs and said, I got one of the small bags, and because the 7-pound one was $70, and she's like, that's not bad. You should have done that. Damn it!
I know, and so now you have permission. Yeah. I just got a 5-pound bag of Bone Frog. Ding.
Okay, nice.
Bone Frog coffee, which is veteran owned and operated. And, all of that, which is great, and the coffee's delicious, very very good, and so happy with that. But none of them are cheap.
No, and that's the sad part.
It is. I mean, it's just Lisa and me, so it's not like we go through a lot.
Yeah,
but enough. I make too much every day. So we end up with some in the in the Yeti. I just had another cup probably an hour ago, and
have we talked about my pod maker?
You mentioned something about it, and that's actually Nespresso, or is that Keurig?
Yes.
Oh, it'll do Nespresso.
It'll do it. So you put the beans in the top. And the grinder's obviously in the bottom, and it has 4 buttons, and you can pre-program the buttons for whatever. So you could have a button for Nespresso, you can have a button for Keurig, which we have one button for Nespresso, or I'm sorry, one button for Keurig, one button for pour over. Oh, so it gives me the amount I want for the pour over.
Okay,
and then I have one set for my AeroPress.
Oh yeah. Cool.
So you can do all 4 different amounts, and then of course you can adjust the grind too if you want it more fine or not.
Yeah, and so mine does that too. It doesn't have the amounts. I pretty much eye up every pot of coffee I make.
Yeah.
And same with pour overs. I know exactly, how much I want to throw in there. But
Right.
yeah, mine's a burr grinder that we've had for quite some time, and it's the hot tip. It's grinding coffee is a pain in the butt because it's so staticky, and it's everywhere. So I did a bunch yesterday and put it in a we'll call it an unnamed coffee can, and so it's sealed, more airtight. But yeah, we used to put coffee in the freezer, and this, it's not good to do that. And I think
we still do. I mean, it's I'd rather it be in the freezer if it's going to sit for a long time than just sitting in the cabinet. Yeah, I mean, well, it's a long time. Like decaf, we don't drink much decaf, so decaf goes in the freezer.
The only decaf coffee we have is Nespresso pods.
Really?
And so, well, if we have people come over or whatever, at least then it's as fresh as it can be,
right,
in a pod, because they're sealed. So that's that. If you want a decaf, sure.
Yeah,
I've got 10 of them.
Well,
so have at
I
it.
Also, so I'll take that bag that I have and I'll pour half of it in the machine, and then I'll put the other half in the freezer because we're not going to use it that quickly, and you still at least get a little bit of a flour when you use it in the freezer if you let it thaw out. So we use half, let it grind through, and then put the whole thing in and let the rest of it grind through. But I guess we can't be too. I'm the only one that cares what the coffee tastes like in the house. Jen doesn't. She's like, it tastes. You give her a 2-year-old Keurig pod that's been sitting in my office, and she'll drink that, or the fresh coffee with the perfect grind and everything. She's like, doesn't taste any different to me.
Oh, funny!
It's like, come on, seriously,
just pretend for me.
Exactly. But she's you know what? She's addicted to the pod maker too now, because she was like, why? I'm like, I ordered it a long time ago. It's here now. Just try it. And she loves it now. So,
that's good. Well, and it is. I guess it's what you get used to. Lisa's used to having coffee waiting when she wakes up.
Yeah.
So that's half the battle. And of course, it always tastes better when somebody else makes it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Yep.
Anywho, well, that's always fun. What do you got planned for the weekend? Anything new and exciting?
Not any real big plans. We're going to be we're dog sitting, so Ranger will be getting his walks in, and
nice.
He's
gonna let him in the pool.
Good guy. We do if he wants to, but he hasn't yet.
Okay.
We'll do, and we have
you have a saltwater pool, right?
We do.
It's interesting. He won't go in because
he won't. Hasn't yet.
Okay,
so it doesn't mean he won't. We'll see. We had him over, I think, just a weekend, a long weekend before. So this will be 8 days. I think we've got him. So anyway,
nice.
and it's going to be funny because we have another dog coming the following week.
Oh, wow!
He's just a little tiny, maybe 25-pounder. Tiny comparatively. And so, he's
I wish I would have known a while ago that you and Lisa dog sit. I mean, we could have sent Bonnie and Clyde down to you whenever we wanted to go on vacation.
I'd love to have Bonnie and Clyde. And you could just put them in first class on a plane, and
absolutely,
we'll pick them up at the airport.
Because the whole reason, we just want to do it. Money is not the issue. It's
clearly
we want to let them stay with people we trust.
Yes, of course. And speaking of which, while I'm thinking about it, that Carmelo's restaurant I told you about is like 2 blocks from the hotel you stayed in last time.
Oh, nice.
Came down. Yeah. So
I think that was on the list of things that I was possibly going to go eat at when I was all by myself.
Yeah. Sorry, you just can't You got to get. I'll have to make reservations for you, or you can make them when you know.
That's right. I went to the Euro
Taco
place.
Bell. Yeah.
No,
Taco
the Euro
Bell.
place next door.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
It was good. Whatever
Awesome.
it was good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you found someplace anyway. I would want you to starve.
Speaking of starving, I'm starving right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go have some bourbon. I mean, what?
Damn thirsty. You said thirsty.
Oh, I said thirsty. Thirsty. All right.
All right,
well,
Pally.
Anyway, you know what we haven't done for a while, except I did do it at the beginning of the podcast, is tell everyone they should head up to PoddiMouths.com.
Yeah.
Because what you find at the PoddiMouths.com? You can find the merch store.
Got some merch.
I hear Lisa's obviously cooking in the background. I can hear that.
Can you?
Yeah.
She's cooking loudly.
Yeah, what is she cooking? Anything that I can come and eat? 'Cause
Shrimp and
on the Barbie?
Spinach.
Ooh,
No, we don't have a Barbie. We have
interesting.
a Blackstone.
Blackstone. Oh, you're so fancy.
No barbecue.
You're so fancy.
No, it's it was the Blackstone or a grill, and you know what? I'm pretty good with the Blackstone. I prefer it so far, and we'll see how that manifests itself over
There you go.
time.
Maybe next time we'll Blackstone it.
Maybe we could. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll cook pasta on the Blackstone.
Anyway,
head up to PoddiMouths.com. Check out the merch store. Check out all of our socials. John, it's great to see you as always. Let's try not to go another week and a half before we record again, but that's on me.
Me too.
Me three.
Okay, then.
Can you hear the dogs in the background?
The puppies.
Clyde's dreaming. Clyde's dreaming again.
All
right, folks. Have a great week. We'll catch you on the flip side.
See ya.